And that's one thing I've learned in entrepreneurship. You cannot depend on just one source of income or one platform if it's bringing new traffic because they change. This is a rented audience. YouTube is a rented audience. So even though I love YouTube, if it ever changes, what will I have next? So I have to always continuously think like, okay, I need these platforms to drive traffic, but I can't depend on them. So,
Step into the world of success with Your Brand Amplified, the ultimate podcast designed to unravel the intricacies of thriving businesses. I'm your host, Annika Jackson, and I'm on a mission to uncover the stories, strategies, and secrets that have propelled entrepreneurs and business leaders to success. I'm really, really thrilled to have this conversation with Whitney Bonds because I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time, left a six-figure job, become a stay-at-home mom, then got divorced and had to go back into the workforce. And so I'm all about how do we help each other as women and for women who want to remain stay-at-home moms, because let's be real, it's really hard to transition from that to working for somebody else, not being able to be there for our kids in the same way. So when I looked for jobs, I looked for things that could be flexible. And now I and then I've usually ended up working for myself. And now I'm doing that 100% last time that I'm saying goodbye to a full-time job somewhere else. So Whitney, thank you so much for being here and for being willing to share your expertise with the audience.
I'm so happy to be here. This is going to be so much fun.
Yeah. So let's talk about your journey. And because you have your name, your brand, you are a big YouTuber, and you have Business Expedited, which helps teach other people how to make enough money so they can be stay-at-home moms or parents or, live the lives that they want to live.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I had the story where I had the American dream. So I say, you get married, you get the corporate job, then later on you have kids. So that I was following that path and it was just okay. I was comfortable until I had my kids. When I had my first son, I was able to have someone watch him. So my mother-in-law and my aunt, they both kind of helped me out with him. But then when I got pregnant with my second child, I knew that they were not going to watch another little one. So nothing wrong with daycare. I'm not speaking bad against it, but I just didn't want that for my family. So I wanted to be the one to raise my kids. And I was already working a corporate job. I was a marketing manager. And it was like nowhere else I could grow in the company.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm at a dead-end company. I can't grow. And I'm going to mess up my kids' lives for this. So I had to make a choice. And I said, okay, by the time that I have my daughter, I want to quit my job. But this is the problem. I had no idea what to do. I knew marketing, but I'm not from the standpoint of doing it myself. I could help other people grow their business, but not my own. And so that was what I went on this journey of saying, okay, I went straight to Google. How do you make money from home as a mom with kids? I had no idea. And everything that I was seeing was just some like cookie cutter stuff, like you can do this, you can do that. But I'm like, no, I don't want to know what I can do. I want to hear from actual moms. What are they doing? Long story short, I saw these bloggers that were making $100,000 a month. And I'm like, oh, all I need is $2,000. That was it. But then writing was one of my worst skill sets. So how could I be a blogger? So I just put that idea. And then I'm like, what would I blog about? I'm not interesting. I don't have anything going on to talk about. So I just put that idea on the shelf and I just kept looking on Google. Long story short, after being stressed out, I decided to pray about it. And just like, Google's not give my answer. Lord, can you give me an answer? I should have did that first. But I prayed about it. I didn't get an answer for months, but I know it was the Lord because I was 4 months pregnant. I'll never forget it. I woke up with this idea to start a blog for moms like me looking for legitimate ways to make money from home. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's my idea. I know it. It was like a God idea. It was like a knowing. I'm like, that's it. I didn't know how I was going to do it. That was my issue. How can I find these moms? But I knew it was the idea. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And so long story short, I'm in a Facebook group and a podcaster posts, I'm doing a podcast. I want to interview some successful stay-at-home moms to see what do you do. And she said, put your email address in the comment section below and tell me what you do. And then all these moms are putting their stuff in there and these great, amazing. Oh my gosh, this is my content. So I reach out to these moms. They don't know me from Adam. And I told them I just had this idea. I didn't have a website or nothing. I said, I want to create a website sharing people's stories like yours. Could I interview you and to share your story for other moms like me? And they say yes. And so I created a Google Doc to send them some questions. I sent it over to them. They sent it back. They told me how much they made. And from those stories, I created a website and I called it Tried and True Mom Jobs. And we can get into the weeds of this, but for time's sake, I started it January 31st, 2018 in crickets. And I thought it was gonna be all this great. I done finally got this together, and nothing is, and now no one is there. And I have a marketing degree, and I didn't think about marketing it. But long story short, I figured it out. I followed the same process those bloggers were using to get people to their blogs that were making $100,000 a month. My first year, I only made $5,000 that entire year, but I made $500 in April of just getting started. And I said, okay, I know it works. I made some money. If I just trust the process and not the progress, I can get there. So I had my daughter. I took an extended maternity leave to kind of see, can this work? And I saw when I made that $500, that was still all I made. But I said, that's all I need. And to know that it works. And so I quit my job and I went all in. And the very next year, my blog blew up and I made over $200,000 in ad revenue and affiliate sales. And that was like mind blowing for us. And it just kind of went up from there. So that's how I got started. And I can get into like how I became a YouTuber and all that stuff. But that was how I got started as a stay at home mom, just making money, sharing other people's stories. So I'm like, if I can do this, anybody can do this.
It's amazing because that's what podcasting is too,
Yeah,
right?
literally.
Yeah. And I have just taken that leap to full-time podcasting, where before I supported my podcast was working for other people. And last month I finally was able to assess, you know, I'm a little like my daughter is going to graduate this year, single mom. So I had a few other things that I had to think about going into this, but I was able to finally say, okay, I got to take this leap now because I see where my revenue is projected for next year. And I can't wait until next year.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, and this, September just ended as of the time we're recording this. And I've already made more in ad revenue this month for September than I would have made working for somebody else.
Wow.
So it does show when you share stories, when you share journeys, when you take that leap, even if you're not quite there yet,
Yeah.
it can happen.
Yeah.
So, I want to dig in a little bit to your blog monetization. And
Yeah.
then how did that take you to YouTube?
Yeah. So great question. So, all right. So I'm making money so just for everyone's sake, when you think about when you read an article on the web, when you're past an ad, that's called an ad impression. And people who own those sites, they get paid for that. So I would have ads throughout my articles as you read them. So when people just read my articles, I would make money from that. And so the more people you get to read your articles, the more money you make. And inside those articles also, for example, I was making affiliate sales. So I interviewed a mom who was a bookkeeper. She started with no experience and she took a course that taught her everything she needed to learn about how to become a bookkeeper. So I reached out to the course that she took as to become a bookkeeper. And I told them I wanted to be an affiliate of theirs. So anytime that someone clicks on my referral link, that I would get a commission for referring them to their course. And so they agreed. So when every time someone would read that interview and get inspired and say, hey, I want to try this too. This mom had success. This is the course she took. I'm going to check this out myself. When they would naturally click on the link to go to the bookkeeper course that she took, I would get a commission on that. And that's a $2,000 course. So I would get $500 for every single time someone would purchase that course. And over the years now, I looked and I made over $300,000 from just that one
Oh my
course.
God.
This is over the years too, but
Yeah.
I mean, if
Oh,
you break that down, and that's just one program that I'm promoting. So that's some really good money, especially for a stay-at-home mom from an article that I did one time. And so that's just an example of just how I was making money. Now, getting traffic to my website, I was using Pinterest and Google. So I learned SEO, which I did not want to do, and that's search engine optimization. And it was like Greek to me. I'm like, what? What is this stuff? But I knew I had to learn it because it was the same thing that those bloggers that were making $100,000 a month with. I wanted to follow a proven strategy. So I'm like, if it works for them, I just need a fraction of that. I'm going to just try and do what they're doing and put my own spin to it. And that's exactly what I did. They were using Pinterest and they were learning how to use SEO to get their articles found on Google. So when you guys search things on Google, what shows up? It's typically blog articles. Well, now it's AI, but it's blog articles from people that like me that wrote these to help you find out whatever the answer is to your question that you're looking for. And so those are things that I would do. And so when you would click on my article, I would make money from you just reading it. So those are examples how I would get traffic. And I was getting so much traffic because I was writing content that a lot of people were interested in. Work from home jobs, even around COVID, everybody was looking for work from home jobs. So I so much traffic. And then at the end of 2019, Pinterest changed their algorithm. And so I was getting 100,000 page views per month from that platform. And it went all the way down to like 1,000. So I'm like, okay, I have to pivot. I can't, I want to continue to stay home and raise my kids. I can't just depend on Google because what if something happened to Google?
Yeah.
So then never forget, I interviewed this guy on my website, and he's a YouTuber. And I had already sworn off video. That was not my thing. Don't want to do it. But when he told me that he made $30,000 in 1 month just from ads, I was like, "Where's my camera?"
Yeah.
Because that was just unbelievable money. That I was like, if I could just, I keep saying that, if I could just get a fraction of that, I'd be happy. So that was my goal, just saying like, if I can do just a little bit, I would be happy. Where if I have to force myself to get on camera for 30 minutes a week, I'll do it. And that's what I did, and that's how I started.
And okay, let me just say, I'm looking at your YouTube on my other screen. 193,000 subscribers, 225 videos. You have a story. Your little, story is from 5 years ago. You were interviewed by Parents Magazine. Amazing. And just looking at your popular videos, I mean, your most popular video or one of them is from 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 3 months ago, on and on and on. So this shows this content keeps performing for you.
Yeah.
And in money, you're making real money off of it.
Yeah, it's insane. I have videos too because I use the same strategy when I did with blogging because Google bought YouTube. So they're both search engines. So whenever I'm creating content, I'm thinking about what are people searching for and how can I answer their questions. So I'm taking the same concept. So I want my content to live on past the point of it going viral because if you try to go that, it always dies. I love go viral. I love it, but they die. So I want to continuously get people looking at my stuff. So I try to create more evergreen than to do viral stuff. But yeah, I have stuff that's still up the, like if you search for how to sell dog treats on YouTube, you're going to find my video, the very first one. And it's just been there for 3 years. So you do it one time, you know how to do it right, and it can make you money for years. So I'm just like, I love this so much. I'm just like, how can I do this? And that's why I love talking about it because I can do it.
So let's talk about this. Number one, you're going to become an affiliate for my podcast production and my
Yeah.
podcast courses, 100%. But translating that, how did you figure out the formula for YouTube? And then what does life look like for you now? Are you still blogging? Are you blogging and YouTube? And what are the ways that you're coming up with your content? Are you looking at things like Answer This or Quora and finding questions people are asking?
Yeah, great question. So, okay, to answer the first question about, or one of the questions about blogging, no, pretty much my blog is just, it's still there, but I do not add anything new. My primary focus is solely on YouTube. I figure out, like, when I look at my numbers, I'm like, what's driving the needle? I want to focus on what's actually going to move the needle, and that's YouTube right now because Google had a content helpful update and uh, it just ruined the search engine. So basically, all the traffic I was getting from Google that dwindled. So I'm like, thank God I pivoted. And that's one thing I've learned in entrepreneurship. You cannot depend on just one source of income or one platform if it's bringing you traffic because they change. This is a rented audience. YouTube is a rented audience. So even though I love YouTube, if it ever changes, what will I have next? So I have to always continuously think like, okay, I need these platforms to drive traffic, but I can't depend on them. So, I have my email list and things like that, but I still use YouTube because it's a great source of traffic. But so I use YouTube now. I use the same strategy that I use for my blog, which is I find out people who create content similar to me. YouTube is the best. You can look at their videos, see what's doing well. You don't have to ask yourself, is anybody interested in that? You know, people are interested in this topic based off of the views. And so sometimes you create something similar and put your own spin to it, or you get inspired by that and say, oh, this is good, but I could do it like this. Or one guy's video, he did a video about how to start an LLC, and it was in 2022. It had over 700,000 views. And it was at the time, this was 2024, and he didn't update it. I'm like, man, that's a good topic I could cover. He didn't update it. I can do that. So I did a video on that, not knowing and it was an affiliate program for that. I didn't know that I could make that much money off that video. I just did it for the sake of views, not knowing the affiliate potential. And I went on and made that video. No one watched it for 5 months. I have on my little graph, you can see that just when I was embarrassed, I wanted to delete it, but I said, "You know what? I'm gonna just trust the process, not the progress." This is my motto. And so I just go ahead and just move on to the next video. But slowly I start seeing that this starts to gain traction. And now that video has over 200,000 views. It's made me over $100,000 from one video. This is like, what? Huh? Like, so, and you just, sometimes you never know. I know I did another video about that. It didn't do the same performance, but that same video is still getting traction to this day. So I'm going to keep doing these videos until hopefully it continues to gain traction forever. Because I'm like, this money is too good to be able to create one video, very helpful, help people to get their LLC started. And then making money like this is just mind blowing. So that's the strategy I use. I'm just like, I'm looking at similar people who create content. And when I look at their content, I'm looking for like the how to or just the things that other people would search for. So I could say, okay, can I answer that question? Because my intent is to get stuck in the search results. I want to be at the top of the search results when they're ready to ask that question. I want my video to be the first one they see.
Yeah, amazing. How has this changed your life and your family's life? Because this is more money than you were ever anticipating making.
Oh my gosh, so it's so much so. So I didn't know anything about this money thing at all. Like, so my second year in business, I made so much money that I ended up paying like $40,000 in taxes because I didn't even know. Like, I need to protect myself. I need to create an S corp. I need to like these are the things that no one prepares you for when you don't even expect to do well. And that's some of the things that I've learned. Like, now I have my business set up. I have an accountant. Like, now I know what I'm supposed to be doing, business bank account, like the basics of business that you just really don't know because you don't think that it can actually do that well. But it's completely changed our lives. I mean, we live in a completely different neighborhood than we were before. We're driving the cars that we wish we could have. It is just our dream we could have. The neighborhood that we used to drive around and say, man, what someday it would be nice to live in a place like that. Like, this is God has completely blessed us and that He gets all the credit. I don't want to take any of the credit. But I feel so blessed and thankful that I just trusted what He said. I know it was his idea and I just went all in and it worked out. So it's just completely changed our lives for the better.
Yeah. Well, what I really appreciate about you is the honesty that you're bringing to the conversation. Sometimes I get on conversations with people for the podcast and they have an expertise, but they kind of dance around it because they don't want to share all their secret sauce. And I feel like you're sharing a lot with us.
Yeah, I do what I wish people would have done for me. Like, I'm only here because of other people sharing their information. Like those bloggers, $100,000 a month, they actually shared how they did it, and I use those principles, and it works. So I want to do the same thing for other people. You know.
Yeah. Well, so that brings us to what are the ways that you're giving back? You have Business Expedited. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to do was like create a community. Like one thing I've learned so much now, like for example, my text mess ups and things like that. I just wanted to create a community where like if you are interested in entrepreneurship, these are just like the things that you should know on how to get started. Like things that you wouldn't know about. Like you shouldn't be using at Gmail if you have an email address. It should be at your domain name, whatever your website name is. Like these are just like to me like elementary things that people just don't know unless you tell them. Like I'm working with a guy right now where he doesn't even have a website. And you don't necessarily need a website anymore in today's age. But depending on what you do, you should have a website. Like people should be able to contact you. Now he's a local business, so he should have a website where people can see what services he offers. But yeah, so I talk about how to create a website, how to do your email, and then what social media platform when you create your domain name, like all the platforms, you should make sure you get all the different social media platforms, even though you may never actually use them, just in case. So basically, it's a platform for people who are wanting to start a business, and it just kind of takes them down the path on how to get started the right way.
Yeah, amazing. And I love that because often will have an idea and then I'll reserve a whole bunch of URLs. And then every year I'll look at them and go, okay, which ones am I really going to use? Which ones should I let go of? Because I probably didn't sign them up on the right service. So
Oh
it might
yeah, yeah.
you know, those are all things that we have to think about as we're going through that strategy, 100%. What are some other things that you wish that you'd known when you got started?
Well, I wish one of the things so I didn't know, for example, I'm on YouTube and it could work for podcasting too, though. But like you can write off trips. One of the things that I do now is just like whenever we go anywhere, I make sure like I'm going with intention so I can write it off. So everything's gonna be a business expense at this point. And so, but I these things only really matter when you're making money, when you talk about business expenses and stuff like that. But and just the fact that I have AI now, to me, that's a huge game changer. Doing so much how I used to do things in the beginning, trying to create emails. I still do all my emails, but I put them through ChatGPT before I send it out and have it refined a little bit just to help give it a more polished look. So those are things that I wish that I had when I first got started. I mean, like now it's a complete game changer. But just setting myself up with systems and having non-negotiables. Like, for example, like when my kids get home, I'm done. I'm off the computer. I'm not on the phone, nothing. So I've set boundaries that I didn't know I needed to set before I started a business. So these are things that I wish I would have known earlier, was just being able to set boundaries and say like, okay, I'm done at this time. No, and even limiting certain meetings, who I'm working with, partnerships. I've had but failed partnerships. So I've learned so much about like partnering with people and what you should do and not do. So I've learned so much that I wish I just would have just took a little more time and stopped jumping into things so fast sometimes when it comes to partnerships. And those are some things that I wish I would have known, and because it could have saved me a lot of time and money. Yeah.
Yeah, but now you know, and those are things you can share with other people.
Yeah.
Because I think we often make a lot of those mistakes, especially as women. We have a little bit of people pleasing gene or a lot of it. I was actually thinking about that this morning. This is the first time I have, like, I'm going to make the most money I've ever made, and it's my business, just me. I have had so many times when I thought I had to partner with somebody else, I was unsure, and none of those worked, right? Some of them had a lot of success, but then eventually went away. So it's so funny we're having this conversation now because I was literally like getting out of the shower and thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like I have to really own this and realize that this is the journey I'm supposed to be on. And you know, this is a path I'm put on. So I want to talk about YouTube because they've just released a whole bunch of things, at least for the general public who's on YouTube, from the A/B testing to the different languages it can translate information into. So I'd love to talk a little bit about, have you been using some of these tools? Have you found even more success with
Yeah.
them?
I don't know if it's more success, but I do know like I have people that are like now watching my content from different languages, who speak different languages. So which is really cool because they're like, "Wait, how in the world you speak in Portuguese?" Like, they ask those questions, so they're like, "How do I understand this?" So it's really cool that I can spread my message to people who normally could not understand or hear what my message is and what I'm saying in my content. So I really love the idea that they were able to implement for people like me, you know, it's not just English anymore. And I test out the thumbnails where I do test my thumbnails, but I have not yet tested the titles, which I think is amazing because when I talk about YouTube, there's three things that is going to make your video do well. And it's your title, your thumbnail, and your intro. So if you don't have any of those, if you can't get those down good, you're not going to have a good video. So the fact that we can test those out now, at least the first two, the title and thumbnail, it's game changer. So I really want to be able to like take the time and really think about my options that I have because usually I'm just kind of like guessing. But now this can like really tell me like, no, this is tested. This one works better. So I love that I can test it.
Yeah, fantastic. And obviously we don't know all the things. So I don't build websites. I have people on my team who do it. I don't edit video. I have people on my team who do it. I wanted to be able to focus on the creative part, the podcast interviews, booking people, getting the right guests on. How much of that do you turn over to team versus how much of it did you have to do yourself at the beginning, or did you figure out strategic hires?
Yeah. So in the beginning, I did it all because it was just like bootstrapping it. And actually, I'm glad I did it all because I learned valuable skills out of it. Like, I'm not the greatest editor, but I can cut stuff up to make it just cohesive. So I can do those kind of things. And I learned that and I ended up really liking it. But I was hearing other YouTubers say, like, that's such a time suck. You gotta start like you don't know it all. You need to outsource. And like so I did as long as I did until I said, okay, it's time. So when I started making money for my YouTube channel, that's when I started outsourcing. And so I do have a full-time editor where he just edits all my videos. But I do the script, I find the topics. It's just since I know it and I just trust myself enough to say, like, I'm gonna stay in my lane and do it. I stay in my lane and do it. So I find the topic, create the scripts, and I use a teleprompter. I read word for word. Nothing is bullet pointed. I'm just like, I write it all out in a Google Doc and I just sit here and I read and I use my hands to make it look like I'm not reading. But I do all that. That's why I'm like, I had to eliminate all my excuses because I can rattle a little bit. And I want to make sure that when YouTube, you got to think about retention. You don't want people falling off and not stop watching. So you got to just think about all those kind of things. Like, what can make them stay? I can't just be talking just to talk. I got to stay on topic. So I just use those kind of things to help me stay on topic. But yeah, I do the bulk of the work, but except the editing.
Yeah. Nice. Wow. What about, because you have really great, consistent cover art on all of, your videos. Do you create that as
No,
well?
I don't. So my editor, he does that too. Sorry,
Yeah.
he does.
No, 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 no.
He does.
Yeah.
He does my thumbnails and he does my the editing. So thank God he has that all covered, and that saves me so much time. So like today, I did a video. I came down, I finished the script, I did the video, and I just uploaded it to him, and now he kind of knows what to do, and I'm done for the week. So it's good.
How many videos do you typically record in a week?
One,
Just one.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I
Amazing.
could do more. I think because I did it for a reason too, because I had my kids. So I'm like just trying to do what I can with my kids. But now this is the first year that I've had them all in school for the week.
Oh, yeah.
So now I have a little bit more time. So I do want to increase my upload schedule just because I have the time now. So that's one thing that I'm looking forward to doing, but I have yet to get into that routine. But hopefully I'll get in that routine soon.
Yeah. No, but still, the fact that you can get to where you've gotten, one video a week,
Yeah.
shows us all, like, we all just need to follow your channel and done. Download your business expedited kit. Learn from you.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a case study I did to talk about that one video where nothing happened for 5 months. I created a case study to help people understand like what did I do and what was the reason it started gaining traction. Because a lot of people when you start out too with YouTube, it may not pop off, but if you do it with intention, it can. And that's the whole thing. People just don't know what to do. So I created a case that I can give you for your audience too, if they want to just kind of see and understand like what did I do and what happened and why did it happen.
100%. And selfishly, I'm going to use this interview and that case study for I might teach grad school at University of Southern California
Oh yeah, take it.
in digital media management and in digital social media. And so this is going to be really interesting to share with my students as something approach that they can take. And also we talk about user generated versus professionally produced content. And I would argue, yes, you have an editor, but it's still your content. It's still user generated. You're not going into, a huge studio and all of
This is
that.
it. This is it.
Yeah,
Behind me.
that really resonates with people these days. And you come across with so much energy, enthusiasm that you really love what you do. And that's the most all of us can hope for.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is one piece of advice that you'd leave with the audience if they want to start figuring out a YouTube strategy, whether it's for their personal brand or their business?
Yeah, 100%. I'm such a believer in this. Find something proven. So if you see something that's worked for somebody else, then you're saying the concept works, which is what you need to know. And then you say, okay, now I'm going to put my own spin to it. So this is one thing that I'm so big about. Like find something proven, make it your own and execute. You're one of one. No one is else like you. You're your own competition. And so that's why you can go out and dominate. I'm in one of those competitive fields, personal finance. But yeah, I stand out because I'm just me. So that's the same thing for you guys.
Yeah. And how much do YouTube Shorts and Instagram, TikTok, other social media platforms, how much do they have to do with your success?
Uh,
Anything or no?
None. And I want to point out too, I don't do YouTube Shorts either. I found that one of my students for my YouTube boot camp, she did YouTube Shorts and her account blew up. But the problem was that those people who subscribed because of her shorts, they only want to consume short form content. Where you make money is through their long form content. And so when she would post her long form content, it wouldn't do well. And YouTube, they look at if your subscribers aren't engaging with your content, maybe we shouldn't show this to other people, because if your own people don't want to see it, why should we keep that to more? So it gave her a negative aspect. So what she did, she created a new account, took her long form videos and posted them on YouTube, and she was monetized in 8 weeks. So that just shows that
Yeah.
if you just follow the process, you can do it. And that's her story, but it's still her story, and which proves it can be done.
Yeah. Okay, so you just said YouTube boot camp.
Yeah.
Where do people find out more information about all the different things that you offer?
Yeah, so if in that case study that I give you, if they want to learn more from me, they can sign for the waitlist for the boot camp. I think we're going to hold it off until January. So the
Mhm.
first year when everybody's fresh, ready to start something new and get started. So, but you can sign up now and just stay on there, and then we'll send updates along the way. But I've done it 3 times now, and it's been a huge success. I got plenty of reviews to review, but yeah, YouTube is a thing. So check it out.
Yeah, fantastic. And if you want to start monetizing via podcasting, you can literally take all the content you've put up in via video and turn it into audio and make it a
I know I
podcast.
got to learn from you.
Yeah, I'm here for you.
I'm here for you. Hey, we can work together.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. So lots of discussions to be had.
I know, right?
But I just, again, thank you so much for being here today, sharing your journey, your wisdom with the audience. Last question: favorite quote, mantra, verse, motto, poem?
Yes, you never know unless you try. I love it. That's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah. Well, you're a true testament to that. So thank you, Whitney Bonds, and thank you to everybody who's watching this episode or listening to it on your favorite platform. I'll be back again with another amazing guest to share their story, their journey, and some tips and tricks to make your life and your world of work a little bit better and brighter every day. Thanks for listening or watching to this episode of Your Brand Amplified. Don't forget to leave us a rating or review on your favorite podcast listening platform. And if you want to learn more, check us out at yourbrandamplified.com.